I'll be able to hang in there.
What was the injury?
My knee.
Considering the elite matchup, the NFC and NFC North standings, and the season that the Packers have had so far, I went into the game Monday night with the idea that the rest of the Packers season and Matt LaFleur's job may have been at stake. And they failed miserably once again. These videos are getting repetitive at this point. The defense plays well, they forced another turnover and gave the offense plenty of chances. Josh Jacobs plays his butt off and found the end zone once again because that's just what he does. But the rest of the offense lays an egg and the Packers lose. It is the same thing over and over and over again. The Packers are above 500 this season, but it's starting to feel eerily similar to 2018. The Packers went on a skid that season where the offense just wasn't clicking. It was obvious that the game had passed Mike McCarthy by at that point in his career, and he was eventually fired mid-season. Now, I don't expect Matt LaFleur to be fired considering all the other aspects of this team, but something must change. The Packers are 1-3 this season in games where they gave up 16 or fewer points. And in those games, they scored 10, 13, and 7 offensively. That is absolutely inexcusable from the head coach and the play caller. Sure, the offensive line has been playing really poorly, but the guy that was heralded as an offensive guru should be able to find some creative ways to make it work. Instead, he continues to run the ball behind a bad offensive line, which is only going to get worse, as it appears Elgton Jenkins may have played his last snap as a Packer. Instead of running to set up the pass, maybe they should be passing to set up the run. The major issue is that teams are playing with light boxes because they know they can stop the run without committing extra players to it. This absolutely makes life difficult for the Packers, and it all boils down to the offensive line. But again, Matt LaFleur needs to find creative ways to adjust. It is easier to play offense than defense in the NFL, but it doesn't seem that way for the Packers. Now, I do want to say that I have been very critical of Matt LaFleur in this video and for a while overall, but this was not his worst coached game of the season, and not all blame falls on him. He deserves some, but the offense needs to actually play well, and as a unit, they were awful on Monday. Let's look a bit closer into the actual game. The Packers got the ball first, and they started to move the ball well, converting a couple first downs. Then Love takes a long sack on second down, essentially killing their opening drive. They had a 3rd and 20 from the plus 49, and they took a shot down the field. I don't really have an opinion one way or another, but if the Packers took more of a conservative play, maybe they end up in field goal range. Instead, they take a shot. Now, I am one of the biggest Christian Watson defenders on YouTube, Twitter, whatever app of your choice. But man, I do not know what he was doing on that deep throw. Instead of playing the ball, he decided to play defense on the corner, and the ball hit him right in the helmet. Watching this live, I thought it was a fine play as the corner may have been able to intercept the ball. But upon watching the replay, Watson definitely messed up. If he just played the ball, then I think he actually catches it and the Packers end up with the ball at the goal line. Just another dumb mistake, and those have quickly added up over the course of the season. The Eagles then get the ball and go on a long 16-play, 77-yard, 8-minute, and 46-second drive. It wasn't looking great for the Packers, but Edgerrin Cooper makes an insane play, punching the ball out of Jalen Hurts' arm to get the Packers' 6th forced turnover of the year. Just an outstanding play by Edge that saved at least 3 points. For the next 6 total drives, neither team had more than 5 plays in a drive, with each resulting in a punt. The Packers then get the ball with about 2 minutes to go in the half, and they start to move the ball well within the 2-minute drill. They utilize some hurry-up and no-huddle offense. I would prefer to see the Packers use this tempo at other points in the game too, not just the 2-minute drill. They get to the Eagles' 27-yard line with about 31 seconds to go. Jordan Love pretty much does the 2 worst things you could do in this spot. He takes a sack, and then he fumbles the ball away, taking at least a field goal try off the board. Love tried to pass it off to Jacobs as he was getting tackled, but it resulted in a turnover. Just a brain-dead play from the $55 million quarterback. And look, all quarterbacks have dumb plays. For years, Matt Stafford was good for at least one horrible throw a game, but it is hard to watch it happen to your team in such a pivotal moment in multiple games this season. The Eagles then come out of the half and score 3 points after a 10-play, 50-yard drive. The Packers get the ball back and start to move the ball well too. The Packers get to the Eagles' 42-yard line and then have a 4-yard loss on a first down run. Another negative play that essentially kills the drive. The Packers end up with 4th and 9 at the Eagles' 41. A field goal here would have been about 58 yards. Matt LaFleur elects to go for it, and Bo Melton, who converted to corner because he wouldn't make the team at wide receiver, but is now playing wide receiver because of injuries, drops an easy catch, ending the Packers' drive. There's a lot to unpack here, but let's first start with the decision to go for it. The Packers pass on a 58-yard field goal attempt on a 4th and 9. In the moment, I hated this decision. No one post-game asked Matt LaFleur about it, but I wonder how much McManus's woes factored into the decision, and I also wonder if Lucas Havrisik was active, would they have kicked it with him? If they have, that is a disaster class in roster management. But of course, none of the media asked him about it, and we move on. Now let's talk about Bo Melton. He had a nightmare performance on Monday night. He had a drop on 4th down, an illegal formation on a chunk play later in the game, and bad punt coverage that would have downed the ball at the 1 at some point in the second half too. The guy made the team to essentially just play special teams, and now he's playing important snaps on offense. I'm not even saying that they are better players, but what happened to Malik Heath and Savion Williams? The Packers then force a punt on the next drive, and in their ensuing offensive drive, they move the ball into Eagles territory. From the 35-yard line, they connect on a 22-yard pass to Christian Watson, setting themselves up well in the red zone. But unfortunately, Bo Melton was lined up illegally, negating the big play. The Packers then go incompletion, and now have a 4th and 11 at the Eagles' 40. They choose to punt. Again, this would have been a 57-yard field goal. I just want someone to ask, would you have attempted the 57 or 58-yard field goals had Lucas Havrisik been the active kicker? And if he says yes, I genuinely don't know what to say. I don't know whose call it is to make the kicker active, but they should be fired. The Packers then punt from the 40, and it results in a touchback. A net 20-yard swing in field position. Just awful special teams. The Eagles follow up by going 80 yards on 4 plays with chunk plays from Saquon Barkley on a 3rd and 7, where Carrington Valentine missed a tackle in the open field, and then Devontae Smith makes a contested catch against Evan Williams. I want to note that the pass rush was completely fooled on that play. For some reason, they were playing for a screen, but it wasn't even close to one. The Packers did respond with an 11-play touchdown drive in which they used some more faster tempo. The Eagles were likely playing some prevent, but I still wish the Packers did this more often. The Packers then force a punt, and Jordan Love has 2 minutes and 18 seconds from their own 10-yard line to win the game or force overtime. He makes a big pass on 3rd and 10 to Watson for 25 yards. They then go incompletion, 9-yard pass to Musgrave to set up a 4th and 1. Packers then rush to the line, run the ball up the middle, and the play never stood a chance. Everyone watching the game knew a run was coming, and so did the Eagles. Their defenders actually called out the play before it was ran.
It's Jacobs, flag flies, Jacobs is brought down.
I'm not sure if this is a Love or LaFleur call, but it was awful. I saw a video on Twitter that this just might be a staple of the offense. If they go no huddle with 3rd or 4th and short, they will run inside zone out of the gun, every time. Just like I knew it was coming sitting on my couch, the Eagles definitely knew it was coming playing the game. And that pretty much ended the game. The Eagles did give the Packers another chance, and McManus couldn't hit a 64-yarder, but I'm not putting that much blame on him. I want to mention that I saw some film of Jordan Love, and it was bad. The passing plays throughout the night actually had guys open. There were multiple chances to hit some chunk plays on the crossers over the middle, but Love either never got to that read, skipped over that read, or the pass rush got to him first. Again, Love needs to play better, absolutely, but him only getting 4 passing attempts in the first quarter, plus the poor offensive line play, definitely played a role in his performance. He never got in a rhythm, and he was impacted by pressure all night. He absolutely needs to be better, but so does everyone else on this offense. In general, the offense is a complete mess. Like I mentioned earlier, they can't even run against favorable boxes, so there's never a chance to pass. Then they get in obvious passing situations on 3rd downs, and the defense can just go after Love. They need a complete overhaul. But the problem is we are now halfway through the season, and unfortunately I don't think there is an answer in season. The Packers have a gauntlet of a schedule ahead with 5 division games in the final 8 weeks of the season, plus a trip to Denver, and they host the Ravens. This can end up very, very poorly. If nothing changes, they may very well end the season going 3-5 or worse. Plus, they don't even have their first round pick next year. They likely need to go 5-3 to make the playoffs, but even if they do, who sees this team winning a playoff game? Sure, things can change, but there's pretty much nothing giving me confidence that it will. Maybe the offensive line play starts turning around and the offense starts clicking. That's just a hope for now. Otherwise, we will see you in 2026.